Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Movie Mania Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Helmer, bringing you more sim-related content. From top 5 lists to classic movie reviews to our fan favorite Cinemores episodes, we have everything here on the Movie Mania Podcast. Now, today's going to be a big episode. We don't do a lot of movie reviews here. You know, most of our videos take place in either the film trivia or Cinemores category, but today is a special day. It is Thursday, March 18th, the release of the highly anticipated Snyder Cut. Now, I came to you with my crew of 3 other individuals. We have Kyle, who's the creator of KK Reviews, Luke Reviews, who is the creator of Luke Reviews on YouTube and on Instagram, and Guy Knoll, who is the creator of Addict_LegoFigs and my comic book co-host. So let's get straight into it. Let's talk about the Snyder Cut. Let's not keep people waiting. So we're going to talk about the story first. The story is the same thing. It's the same thing. There's nothing different to it. I told everyone when the trailers for this film came, I'm going to go full throttle. First 2 minutes of this video, I'm going to go full throttle. Because I told everyone when the trailer came out, guys, this looks like the same thing. And the film is the same thing in regards to the story. There's a lot of development, especially with world building around Apocalypse and Steppenwolf's motives and Darkseid. So I guess that's good because Steppenwolf was basically a joke in the first Justice League. Like, he literally was the worst villain in my life. But he was pretty good in this film. Cyborg's dad was more involved with it, which I kind of liked. And then also a lot of Lois in this film for no particular reason. The Lois, I thought it was gonna be a kind of side story, but there was no story to it. It was more
just bringing coffee to the grave.
Yeah, it was just like it's like every time we see Lois, she's like getting coffee or like in a dark room. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, this is, and there was no real development there.
So let me just say, I agree. That Lois Lane stuff was useless, absolutely useless. There was no reason that was in the movie. I was like, come on. I want to see like more of like the characters that we actually are finally starting to see. And that's where I'll talk about that later. But the plot, story-wise, it's the exact same thing. The difference is there's more time to develop certain parts of it. And they really develop heavy on world building. There is a character, a scientist in the film, which when I saw that it was the Atom, I was mind blown.
That was
stupid. I'm sorry. I love it when they bring out the names. I love it when they bring out the names. When I was watching this film, I was like, oh God, Helmer is gonna hate this.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of name drops.
I'm not biased towards Marvel or DC. This is because I hate when Marvel does it too.
He didn't like it with the Scarlet Witch. Witch.
That
but like
awful.
This was a whole other level of name drops. I also love the amount of Darkseid you have. But like, I do want more. The thing about this plot is that it does leave you to want, in my opinion, because I felt like I wanted more story. I've seen a lot of hype over a certain nightmare scene, and I did not like that scene. And I thought that scene was a useless pile of crap. And I really, quite frankly, they're like, Jared Leto's amazing. I'm like, no, Jared Leto is playing Marilyn Manson with green hair.
Yeah.
And it's silly and it's stupid and it's like, why does his laugh sound like clown orgasms is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why did he think that was a good choice? And it just, he looks weird. He looks like a clown prostitute and I don't like it.
I think splitting into parts was a good idea. I think it helped like decipher what was going on in each moment. In terms, the story's the exact same, like you guys said. There's nothing different at all. It's like literally the exact same story. I guess if I'm being honest, I did want more. Even though it was 4 hours, I wanted it to be more. I still felt disconnected a lot from a lot of the characters, even with the expanded development. Like even Cyborg, I still just don't care. I don't care about anything that happened. Like I'm not emotionally invested. I think really I think the biggest mistake is that Justice League came before like any solo movies of like Cyborg or the Flash or anything. And even it takes place before the Aquaman solo movies. Like I would still feel disconnected to a lot of the characters.
And then the Aquaman story is very also tonally different from what they established in Aquaman, especially like visually. And so you look at it and you're like, there's just a disconnect between that and the
Canonically,
actual.
it's very much
Yeah.
confusing, and it's very disconnected from the Snyder Cut.
Mhm.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Well, this isn't canon.
I
is
know
it?
it's not, but this was the
Yeah.
original story, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of like,
I don't know. I absolutely love this. Okay, maybe not the story element specifically, but I thought the story
Yeah.
was great.
Mm.
It's the same as the original, but there just is more, and it adds more to every scene. Like Steppenwolf in his story, like Darkseid, he wasn't even in the 17 version, so and that gives Steppenwolf a lot of character. Should I say? I guess that's more character, but story. No, I liked how it was structured. The parts made it a little
Mhm.
more easier to follow, I guess. The way it spent time with each character, enough time. I think Batman and Superman were a little shunted to the side for Flash and Cyborg, but I think it still moved at a good pace.
Luke, you say something interesting because I would say this about a lot of Zack Snyder films, and like I don't like much about Snyder movies. I'm not the biggest Snyder fan.
I agree.
But like I recently rewatched Man of Steel, and I also rewatched Batman. I watched the Batman v
I
Superman
rewatched
Ultimate Edition for the
BVS
first time,
yesterday.
and the pacing and like all of Snyder's films are very, very good. Like
Yeah, I
like
noticed that too.
like the whole prologue of Man of Steel is like 30 minutes. Like when they're on Krypton, that doesn't feel like 30 minutes. That
But
feels
to
like
be fair,
15
I
minutes.
feel like not a lot of superhero films overall have terrible pacing because it's all of them have a lot of entertainment value. One issue I had in the first Justice League, and it's a tiny thing, but it bothered me so much, and I laughed about it so much when it was in the first cut. So the bank robbery scene where you have Roose Bolton from Game of Thrones, right, and he goes to, quote unquote, rob the bank, and then he goes up and tries to blow up the bank and blow up the kids, right? Why didn't he go to a school? Why didn't he go to a school? Wouldn't that be the same thing? But first of all, there would be less people because the bank was in the middle of a city. And second of all, there are more people in the school, more kids specifically. So why would he go to a bank to blow up the kids instead of going to a school?
Because that way you could have the cool like Wonder Woman standing on the
look,
statue.
Yeah, there's no
Wonder
cool
Woman,
statue on the
baby.
school.
Yeah, that's how would you have Wonder Woman standing on a statue?
It looks. Here's the thing. The thing about I've noticed when I rewatched a few of Snyder's movies recently is that they're not great stories, but the entertainment value is very high for me. I love like the visuals. It's very much style over substance.
The bank scene is terrible. It's terrible. like the slow, like the constant, like
was it a bank?
Slow
I
mode.
thought it was
speed.
like a court. I thought it was a court.
I don't know. Like
there are like people with wigs
you know
there.
what I'm talking about? The Wonder Woman hostage scene. It's atrocious.
Yes,
like
it is bad.
Like all the slow mode and like the speed up, like stylistically.
I mean, I thought it was
it's just like terrible visual choices.
Okay,
like it doesn't even look like
the
the choices are connected.
Well, actually, I thought the choices were good. Like I liked the way she was helping those kids, and then she kind of lifted one up.
No, not story wise, stylistically.
But overall, I actually thought this is going to be a hot take. I mean, this will go into. I guess this will flow into our next section, characters. But the bank robbery scene was bad. But I prefer Snyder's vision of Wonder Woman compared to Patty Jenkins' view of
Absolutely.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
200%.
I'm glad you guys agree because a lot of people I thought would disagree with me because the Wonder Woman movies, even the second one, for God's sakes, are seen better than BVS or Justice League. But I actually feel that Snyder's vision for Wonder Woman is a lot more palatable and a lot more just like realistic, dark and gritty. Just her look, like it's not as vibrant. It feels more like the sword and the shield. It just feels more gritty, and the music as well, and the action scenes.
I mean, the
action scene in the bank. No matter how bad the circumstances of the bank scene were, the actual action scene was better than any action scene in Wonder Woman 84.
Oh yeah,
that is true. Well, look, the thing about
I thought it was amazing. Just the way she sped up, and so I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the slow mo. We'll get to that, but I actually love the action with her with that Snyder does with Wonder Woman.
I like the part where Chris Pine shoots a nuke at the kids and
he shouldn't be in the
jumps to like save
the entire film.
84 slaps.
I mean, I don't want to get too deep in that film.
It was 4 hours, right? And someone asked me, how long did it feel? Like, did it feel short? I'm like, didn't feel long, didn't feel short. It felt right. Like it had 4 hours and it didn't feel too long, too short. It just felt right.
I really dug Steppenwolf, especially
Yes.
his look was good. I didn't think his look was amazing or anything
Yeah.
because I'm not a
Really?
huge
I
fan
think
of-
the look was terrible.
Like,
still
I
think
I
the
don't.
look was
I thought
funny.
it looked like
big monsters.
tinfoil.
I'm not a
I call
huge
him the
fan of
spiky
big
boy.
but like it was better. The last
All right.
Steppenwolf look was god awful. This one was at least
All right,
fine. And I thought the character, he was like a Krennic type character, and I thought
Yeah.
Krennic was better.
Yes.
But Steppenwolf was fine. I mean, he wasn't awful. He wasn't terrible. He was fine.
Here's the thing. I don't like the look. I don't like that he literally looks like all of my kitchen utensils glued to a booger. Okay, I don't like that. But let me just say this: the old version, I don't like the old version very much. I've been really reevaluating this. I used to like it because it looked more like the one from the comics, but now after watching this, I'm like, you look and the thing about it is Snyder does something with the effects with Steppenwolf's face that actually makes you feel like he's giving off emotion.
Okay, design wise, still terrible. A little better, but still terrible.
Okay.
Character wise, no, he's not a good villain. He's not someone I really care about as a character or as a villain.
Like
I think the stakes are still relatively low for Steppenwolf. Like
true.
even like when he's like going and like talking to like Darkseid and like the chair guy that the chair guy that looks like really terrible.
You saw it?
Yeah, I don't know what he is. The chair guy was like the two mother boxes. So like I was like, yeah, okay, cool,
How is he the
Steppenwolf.
chair guy?
I'm just calling him the chair guy.
Does he have a chair?
Are you talking about the guy with the hoodie? Because that's
think
the
Dark-
story.
I think
like, have you
Darkseid sits on
completed
the
your
chair.
mission, Steppenwolf? And he's like, yeah, this is the planet. This is Earth. And then like he summons Darkseid, and I'm like, oh, the chair guy. I'm gonna call him the chair guy.
It's like, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, right? The chair guy.
Yeah.
The chair guy.
You know what?
He
I
wasn't
just
sitting
thought
down
about.
though. He was like standing up.
Yeah, there was no
Oh.
chair involved. Like,
Yeah,
He was standing up. He was wearing a hood.
Oh,
I
really?
never saw him sit down. Granny Goodness and Desaad were standing. They were never, sitting down.
Okay,
But
Hashtag
chair guy.
release
I
the
don't
I'm
know.
the
chair
hoodie
cut.
guy. I'm the
Release
hoodie
the chair
guy.
cuts. I want to see the
But,
sad
like,
sitting on the chair.
As
The
a whole, like
chair cut, I
Steppenwolf,
that.
like I just didn't care, especially in like the final fight scene that's in like the original Justice League and in this one as well. I like Superman shows up and Superman shows up and like he just like hits it with the axe. And, like Superman is like, oh, I'm unimpressed. I'm like, okay.
Terrible fighter. He's just a bad fighter overall.
He
He gets
is.
kicked
He's just
handily.
a hulking brute.
The very first moment he lands on Earth, he's getting his ass kicked.
I don't want to get too into spoilers, but in like part 2 with like the Defenders of Earth, like the original Defenders of Earth, what did you guys think of that?
That was
Sure.
cool.
That was
Because like that was like probably like the
That was cool.
coolest
There
new
was
scene
one
in the
cameo-
movie
there
for
was
me.
one cameo. There was one where I had to go back.
Yeah,
I don't want
I
to.
know what you're talking about.
I thought it was really cool.
In terms of characters, I felt like there was some weird. Batman, I felt there was this weird thing where he was really trying to find his faith. And I was like, what is this, Hannah and her sisters? I was like really confused. Like, why is he trying?
I hated Batman in this movie.
Because Batman was like not.
It just doesn't feel like Batman. There's no change between. At least, correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't think there was any change.
No, but I felt. Here's what I felt was that he. It was kind of weird the way he was kind of like this weird faith guy. And then there was this one line he said, Barry Allen was right there. I was like,
yeah,
that's
I'm like,
weird. That's weird
Barry's
dialogue.
right there. It's like,
I was like,
Wait, so what's everyone's opinion on Batfleck as a whole?
I thought he was great in
he's
BVS.
underrated.
He was good in BVS. I just
He
hated
was,
him.
here's
Yeah.
the thing. I was looking. I was like, this guy looks like Bruce Wayne. Like I'm looking at the anime series. I'm like, this guy kind of looks like Bruce Wayne.
He looks like him, but he doesn't feel
Just-
like when I
the
think of
issue
Batman,
is
I
he's
think
not
of,
getting.
first of all, the best part about Batman is his intelligence.
Yeah.
This Batman is dumb as a rock. The only thing he can do is recruit people. By the way, he's a terrible fighter. He's extremely slow. Like I felt like he was moving in slow motion, honestly. Like when he was fighting, maybe because that's
There was
he's
some
like,
stuff. There was some stuff I felt.
He's just a regular guy.
But then there was just like shit.
Yeah.
Look,
And-
I'm gonna be honest. I did not. There was also I didn't understand why Superman put on the black suit. I was like, what's the purpose of putting on? He just was like looking through, and he's like, what do I need to wear today?
he was just
What
looking
should I
through-
wear through my
Like, yeah.
wardrobe? And I was like, wait, so he wasn't wearing the black suit in the coffin. So like when he died, so there's really no meaning to why he's wearing that suit.
But he's reborn.
But it's stupid. It's stupid.
But
I'm
it's
sorry.
cool. It looks
It's
cool.
dumb. It's dumb. I want to talk about Cyborg because I'm gonna be honest with you. He was. I really feel like the one big issue here is that these characters didn't get solo movies, and I really do believe that they should. And Cyborg especially, there is so much character developed. There's just so much more character there and emotion. And I'm gonna be honest, like when his father died, I kind of felt it. I was kind of like, oh, like this is his last parent. This is the last member of his family left. I loved the scene where he gave the waitress like a bunch of money. Like I love
when he had
that
the
was
ATM.
just
That was a good scene.
ATM
that was a
scene
good scene.
That was a good
I think
scene.
that exemplified what like Cyborg's actual character.
It
Holy
really, and I was just thinking, like, Joss Whedon, why did you cut this stuff out? This is great.
Can
like,
I be honest though? Ray Fisher is easily like easily the worst actor of the bunch.
Gal
like
Gadot
easily the
exists.
weakest.
I'm sorry.
I disagree. I think it's Ezra Miller's not great because to me,
I think Ezra Miller is way like I think like
I liked Ray Fisher. I thought he was really
like
good.
acting wise,
Yeah,
like
I
when
did
he like
too.
screams, like when his dad is like taken hostage. I'm like, oh, that's acting.
The one thing though, with Darkseid is pretty much in this film, in my opinion, just Thanos. He's a guy that sits in a chair. He's a guy that sits in a chair, and you're just waiting for him to do stuff.
Thanos basically killed the Darkseid character, in my opinion, for DC. I can see no possible future in which the Darkseid character is taken seriously.
I mean, he looked good. He looked cool.
Actually, the only way is if they do a movie entirely on Darkseid, where you get to see, and yeah, exactly.
They aren't utilizing really good parts of Darkseid, the intellect. He kind of just felt more like hulking brute when he was
especially in the fight scene where he actually roared, and I was just like,
oh my god, I was like, dude, that's not Darkseid. I was like, he's supposed to be like intelligent, smart, very strategic, and this guy was just like, just like going crazy.
Let's go to Joker now, who was shown in the trailer briefly.
All right, don't get me started here.
Don't
get me started. This is so stupid.
I am very angry that I got baited.
We didn't get baited.
No, because I talked to Helmer and Guy when we were doing the Who Would Win segment. I don't know if that video's out by now, but it should be. Yeah, it's out by now. And you guys know that the only reason why I was excited was because Snyder said we live in a society. He had Joker say it, and I was like,
but they cut it out.
Oh my gosh.
It's called marketing.
That made my Valentine's Day. Snyder gave me a Valentine's Day gift. And it was Joker saying, we live in a society. And I was so hyped. I went from a zero. Because
I'm going to go full on Sam Kinison.
I never gave a jack diddly squat shit about the Snyder Cut. And then I saw that trailer. And I was like, oh my gosh. I am very excited. It brought my hype level up from like a 0 to like a 95. I was so excited. And now I am baited. They never had it in the movie. I am very angry, very pissed off. Snyder ruined my day.
Yes.
But they got you to watch the movie.
He looks dumb. I'm sorry. He looks like a clown hole.
That's right. They got me to watch the movie.
That's what he looks
like. They baited me into watching the Snyder Cut. I don't care about the Snyder Cut. I got baited into watching the Snyder Cut because Zack Snyder lied to me.
He understands what I'm talking about.
Okay,
that sounds like a you problem.
Luke, any thoughts on Joker?
I thought you stole the scene. I wanted to see more.
No.
I want to see a Batman and Joker team-up movie.
No.
I want to see more. I want to see what was promised in the trailer. That's what I want to see, Luke.
The direction and technical aspects.
Guys, the CGI is nauseating. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Darkseid looked bad. Steppenwolf looked bad. The guy in the chair looked bad. Dude, the CGI, it's so much CGI. I have a headache whenever I watch a Snyder film, especially when I watch a Snyder superhero film.
It's like Ned from Spider-Man Homecoming.
I just can't do it.
There's also, I want to also point out, there is a secret character in the film who doesn't look so great, in my opinion. Visually, it looks very bad.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It's like visually, it's like weird. And that scene, the way they shoot it, looks like Ben Affleck was just talking to a wall.
Zach, probably a great guy in real life. You probably are. And I mean this with all due respect because I love Man of Steel. I'm a huge Man of Steel defender, but some of your choices in this movie, your creative choices, are downright dumb and downright just plain. I have no idea why you did it. Number one, he is stuck in 2006 with these stupid slow-mos. Why is every single action scene, why does it have to be slow-mo? It's like, I honestly, I got Michael Bay vibes. And that's Michael Bay. I hate to say that, but I got Michael Bay vibes. Number two,
don't do that. That's mean.
Nauseating. There was so much CGI in this movie, and I just got.
So there's some issues I have with this. They needed to use more practical effects. What was the
final battle? It was just like this empty, like dark village place,
right.
And then
when it comes to Batman, you don't need to use CGI. You could use practical effects when he's ziplining and kicking a parademon. Because that looked like a toy ad. But I think they didn't get a budget.
Way too many cuts, especially the briefcase scene where the guy walks into the bank. Do you notice how many cuts there were when he was just walking up the stairs?
Yes.
Oh my god. It was all on the guy with the briefcase, and he kept switching. It was
the beginning. I think I'm going to be honest with you. The pacing in the beginning wasn't great. I'm going to just say it. The pacing in the beginning of this film was not great. I disagree.
The music. Okay, the score.
Are you talking about the singing music?
Junkie XL score is great.
The score is amazing.
I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on. Junkie XL score is fantastic in this movie. Right. What are you talking about?
It's not like the score. The score feels like it was. I feel like I've heard it before. Like the
Mad Max maybe.
It felt like 300 or I don't know what other.
I mean, like I felt like he picked certain songs in the film, and I'm like,
the song choices are terrible.
Those? Yeah, the soundtrack was good, but the song, some of the songs he put in there were horrendous. Like the scene where the Flash was saving Iris West. That song was so bad. I was like, I thought I was being pulled into the Grant Gustin Flash show. I was like, what is this? This is terrible. It reminds me of the CW. I hate it.
There's just way too much music in the film.
There's way too much Lois. There's way too much Lois.
There's way too much Lois as a whole. But no, like the song choices as a whole, like other than the end credit song where they like have like a cover of Hallelujah, every other song sucks in the movie. Like I can't. It's like I don't know who was the music supervisor of this movie.
What he originally used Hallelujah for.
No, I mean, I hated Zack Snyder's music choice. Like, I don't know what happened between 2013 with Hans Zimmer's phenomenal score for Man of Steel, and that's all that's played. What happened between 2013 and 2020 in which Zack Snyder decided, you know what? I'm just going to add a bunch of songs in here, a bunch of dark remixes of random songs.
But it was not even good. It's just
the song was played in the Justice League in the first trailer for the cut. I was like, yeah, this Zack Snyder guy his music taste has gone off the rails.
It's just some of the stuff he did, like that Icelandic person with the fish fetish, the way she was sniffing his sweater. I just didn't like that kind of stuff. It just felt really like the music stuff he did was just weird. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. And I was like, I want to go home.
Like how many excuse my language, how many fucking slow-mo pop scene songs are there? Not
enough.
like I remember like when like Aquaman's like standing on like the little wooden plank and like he's like walking in slow mo into like a wave. And I'm like, okay, Zack Snyder, thank you. It feels it doesn't it feels so right but so wrong at the same time. Warner Bros. Should not have let them do that. They just use way too much CGI in the DCU. They just need to tone it down and like make it like more so focused CGI. It's like don't have everyone like doing a bunch of different stuff at once with like a bunch of CGI overload.
Your most popular character is Batman, who has no powers. You could just use practical effects. Like Jesus Christ, I still want to see the rest of his vision though, because whenever he says
he was supposed to have a 5 mark, and it's a shame that like we don't really have Snyder's like full vision. But I do think he had a very clear focus of what he wanted to do.
But here's the other thing I just want to say that I did like. I do feel he needs to have one more film because I do feel like the way his arc goes with Man of Steel, BVS, and then Justice League. I wanted Justice League 2 because I feel like we'll finally get kind of the full circle with Batman and Superman, which we did not get in this
film.
One
last thing with the technical
Superman
aspects.
Was like in like 20 minutes of this film. I don't like Black Suit. I don't know why people just love that. It's like this weird overhyped thing.
One more thing, the aspect ratio I actually really dug. I
Yeah,
thought it was
4.3.
Yes, that
I
was
love
good.
a 4.3 aspect ratio. I don't know if
Yeah,
you guys
no,
have
I really
seen.
like it.
Like
I mean, I
4.3
don't-
aspect ratios are very good.
name you a reason why he chose it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, people like filmmakers use it for like a claustrophobic effect. In this film, I have no idea why he used it, but I thought
He
it was
did. He
It
did say
looks good. I dig
something.
it. I dig it.
I
I
forgot.
thought it looked great.
Luke first. Overall thoughts on the film and the final score out of 10.
I just had a great experience. It was like this massive event, this big movie, and it's the biggest movie that has come out since Tenet, for me at least. And
Yeah, that's
I
true.
just had an amazing experience with it. And for me, it's a 10 out of 10.
Oh gosh. Oh boy.
You're wrong,
Okay.
but whatever.
Yeah, I was
Sorry,
expecting
all
that.
the good
No. Film is
No.
subjective.
I love certain parts of this movie. I really do. You know, the nightmare scenes were such a waste. It was much better with characters. It was substantially better than the Justice cut. But I'm gonna give but I'm gonna give this in the end of the day a 6 out of 10 because I actually do like certain things.
Despite all the garbage I've been giving this film, I thought I would probably say it's more positive than negative. The weird thing is I can't name you a lot that I liked about it, but I just thought it was thoroughly entertaining, thoroughly exciting. I mean, I'll give like a 6 out of 10 is fine. Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Second trailer came out. We live in a society, and I was like, okay,
In a society.
okay. This is gonna be the best movie ever. I'm buying into the hype. I'm now very excited. Then I saw the good reviews, and I was like, oh, this could actually be unironically good. I was like, I'm at now a 10 out of 10. So I went into today thinking this might be a really good movie. I might be giving it a 5-star. I might be giving it a 10 out of 10 like Luke. I watched the movie and it's the same old stuff. They don't say we live in a society. Okay then. But honestly, there's a lot of interesting stuff in the movie. I would say there's a little bit more positive than negative. So I would also be just giving it a straight 6 out of 10. There was a lot of stuff I didn't like and a lot of stuff I couldn't get behind. But for the most part, it did set up a good, clear focus of what Snyder did want.
So the average score was 7 out of 10 out of the four of us, which is a good score, solid 7 out of 10. So this has been our review of the Snyder Cut. Thank you for watching.
We live in a society where Snyder can make a 7 out of 10 movie. Yippee-ki-yay, guys. We live in a society.